heating control system. Hi, it's Chris from ITD. We've been away from the Flow of Power for a few weeks because we've been waiting to get the central heating and hot water controls out. So very nicely we got donated some stuff by CEF, and here we have got your typical S-plan. So you have your programmer, your room stat, your port valve for your central heating, and then you have your wiring centre, your hot water stat, your port valve for your hot water. So as Big Al said it best, it is all just a series of switches. Your spur would turn on your power to your wiring centre, which would give power to your programmer. When you call your central heating, that will send power to your room stat. Now, if your room stat is below the required temperature, it will let the power run through to the port valve. When the port valve opens, that will send a signal back to turn on the boiler and turn on the pump. And the same thing would happen if your programmer requests hot water. It would check that your hot water tank is cold enough for it to be required to be heated. Once it knows it's cold enough, it will send the power through to the port valve that controls your hot water, and then once that opens, it will then send the power back to your boiler. So what we're going to demonstrate today, the flow of power, is just on the switch lines. We're going to be doing more videos about heating controls, drawing some diagrams on the boards to show how it's all wired and connected, but this is simply just to show you where the power goes, where it stops. Tea break. So this is that flow of power. It would all start at your fuse board, it would then come to your fuse spur. So when your fuse spur is on, you can see it sends power to your wiring centre, which then also sends your permanent feed up to your programmer. And from this wiring centre, it would also send a permanent supply to your port valves. We haven't demonstrated that here. We also haven't demonstrated the neutrals and the earths. So we're going to start with your central heating. So as you can see, your program has hit the time. It's now asking for the central heating to turn on. But your room stat isn't requiring it. Your room is already of the temperature it needs to be. But if it was colder, it would then let the power through to your port valve. Now, only when this port valve opens, it will send the signal to the boiler. This is the boiler firing up. That's the pilot light. And then the same with your hot water. It's sending the power down to your wiring centre, down to your hot water tank. But as you can see in this case, the stat is either set too low or your hot water tank is at temperature. So we're just going to ask that for more. So that is now asking the port valve to open, and only when this port valve opens, it will send the power back up to trigger the boiler. And that is a heating control system, which we're going to go more in depth with in the coming days.